Shalom, Rainicorns. It's Ellie, the Empress here. All right, so we are talking about manifesting a parallel reality, and this is the master version. So first, we talked about the the logistics of it. Now we're going to talk about more of the, I'll say, fun stuff. We're going to talk about more of the fun stuff. Okay, let me get this down here. So when I say fun stuff, I'm talking about like glamour magic. I'm talking about acting as if the stuff that people do talk about is just applying it logically. Okay, I might have to restart this other stream in a second. If it messes up again, I'll restart that one. Okay, so let's take for example, like the obvious situation, the way that my appearance is right now. So what I started doing early 2000, really late 2024, I started getting my hair done like this. I've never had a sew-in ever in my life, so this is the first time in my life I've ever had a sew-in. And so it's like, okay, what was I doing before then? Okay, first let's go to, this is what I actually look like. This is my identity. So having long straight hair has always been like a thing, whether it's straight or not. Having long hair has always been a thing identifiable to me. So everyone who knows me knows, it's like, oh, okay, well, that's her. She has like the long hair. And then on top of that, what I did first before I got the straight hair was I got the curly hair. So if you go back to my Glamour Magic videos and my other live streams, I think I can go back to those on here and just show you guys. Hold on. So I was already doing videos talking about Glamour Magic with y'all and letting it be known, like, hey, you know what I'm saying? All you got to do is live it first. And then it'll be your real life. So I was wearing a natural ponytail and it was curly. So that was already like my hair being long. And then this time, it's kind of like if you watch the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, you shake up reality a little bit, and reality has no choice but to respond to you. That was actually 2 years ago. Dang, that was 2 years ago. My bad, y'all. I was doing that all the way in 2023. I thought that was last year. Okay. Well, I'm gonna show on my screen what I'm talking about, where I was doing my Glamour Magic videos. I probably have to make a playlist specifically addressing these types of ideals. So you're talking about stuff like law of assumption. Um, okay, here you go. All right. So law of assumption, law of attraction, acting as if, things of that nature, where it's like all you're doing is making it to where your reality responds to what you're doing. Okay. So if you make your reality respond to what it is you're doing, for example, glamour magic, that's a really easy one. All you're doing is affecting your physical appearance. So those on Instagram, all you gotta do is go to my channel, and then you're gonna see a series. Well, I'm gonna make a playlist later, but you're gonna see a series of videos where I'm intentionally holding things like makeup or hair tools and different things like that, so that the gist is gotten. It's like, okay, we're talking about glamour magic, we're talking about appearance, we're talking about manifesting what it is you desire into your reality, utilizing your physical appearance. So when you use your physical appearance, it makes the manifestation that much more strong. Affirmations are good, meditation is good, but you have to take that next step into making your reality real. Okay. So you have videos like, we have the virtual business meeting at the very, very bottom. So we have it right here. So that's what I mean when I say my members only videos, these go back a long time. So I want y'all to keep access to it. And that is why we're having our live streams now. And if you go to the live stream that we just did, we just covered a whole lot of information. So go ahead and get your membership, y'all, so you can have access to all of these videos that are exclusive. Okay. So you have positive pack mentality, evolved groupthink. Um, we did talk about polygyny a little bit, but a lot of folks are not ready for polygyny. Myself and my current partner, we were involved in polygynous relationships, and it's just, monogamy is just like a thing now. It's like, people scientifically, polygyny makes sense. It's just people's emotional states are not curated for polygyny in today's time. Will we get there eventually? But I just, me and my partner agree. It's just like, it's not for us right now, not polygyny. And it's like, I'm open to having a sister wife. That's not the issue. It's just folks are weird. And, you know, even if you want to have a sister wife, like my man probably would like to have two wives or whatever, but it's just not a thing right now. Monogamy is where it's at right now. So I'm talking directly to ladies here. It's like shift ladies, hashtag get ready with me, work from home. Um, so I'm just talking about simple stuff like, okay, even though I'm at home, I'm going to look a certain way. Now, would I do all that if I'm working a regular work from home job? Not necessarily, but still just taking care of yourself and looking a certain way while you're working. I am a video content creator, so of course I did extra. But if someone's doing regular work from home work, it's just like you don't have to be in your pajamas every single day that you're doing your work from home job. Okay. Business expansion as a kingdom entrepreneur, making sure that your business is there to assist others, not just to profit. Feminine evolution, enhancing your physical appearance. So, like I said, we were big on the glamour magic in 2023. Okay. And this is me having my natural hair out. So, this is what I'm saying, the evolution of my physical appearance. This was just me having my natural hair out. I wasn't doing anything crazy. I was just affecting in slight ways um, how I looked, just a little bit. Who run the world? Real business in the matrix, high finance, hashtag entrepreneur. Switch it up, ladies. Greta and me exploring new styles. So it's literally just who are you and what is it that you would like to do for the new you, because it's still you, but you got to shake up your reality a little bit. The future of business, entrepreneurship, and investing. So as you can see, my look is very intentional to be different from just me being barefaced how I was in a lot of my videos. Is there anything wrong with being barefaced? No. At the same time, there's just a difference between being barefaced and having on makeup. It's a psychological thing. It's not so much you. Yes, it is you, but it's also society. All right, this one, I really like this one. This one is artificially natural. Let's do glamour magic, ladies. And I like it because this is where I introduced having a ponytail. So this is just me still being natural, but also extending it where all I'm doing is manifesting my look. That's it. Is it anything crazy where it's like I'm trying to become a certain image that is outside of my identity, who I am as a person? No, it's just me enhancing who I already am, me amplifying who I already exist as. So this is invest while you're broke, stay in spiritual alignment, evolve mentally, hashtag investor. So that is a mindset that you must adopt before you get into your new reality. And this is me, I'm just cooking, but I have the look on. So it's like, okay, we're just doing something simple, but we gonna be cute at the same time. All right, Divine Feminine, travel, get ready with me, lady, talk about biz and motherhood. So I'm at a hotel at that one and just talking to you guys, getting ready. And so here is refresh and restart, ladies, upgrading, re-up on materials for glamour magic and manifestation. So using glamour magic and manifestation to get into that new reality. Work versus hustle, build versus grind. That's just describing the difference between the two, where it's like people want to work, 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 but understanding is like, okay, what can you do in order to rest? So let's take a break real quick. Let me talk to you guys directly. Okay. So that is how a lot of this started. I already knew the science behind a lot of this stuff. Like I said, it's psychological. Where okay, for my platform specifically, my views started going up in a lot of ways, and different from how they would before. So it's like, what I say I went viral during that time, not necessarily, but I'll say that the views stay consistent. And then when I would go out with that particular look, I was treated differently by people. And people treat you differently based on your appearance and what it is you have on, why you have it on, how you're wearing it, and different things like that. So, you know, taking my physical appearance into consideration, I decided to go with this look in 2025. And then that provided, I'm not going to say it provided different opportunities, but it did affect the way that people were treating me during different processes. So here, I did wear my natural hair sometimes, but it wasn't common during 2025. Mostly, this was my look here. This was how I looked most of the time during 2025. It was my signature look. This is how my appearance was, and this is how people got to know me. And this was my staple look. This was my staple appearance for 2025. So in 2023, and then going into 2024, I had my ponytail, my curly ponytail. So what was my curly ponytail? Just a curly version of this. That is it. That is all. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second. I am back. Okay, so like I was saying, the curly ponytail was just a curly version of what we have here. My physical appearance right now and how I've been rocking 2025. But I'm just letting you know it started beforehand. That's why I'm going through the timeline of it to get to the perpendicular reality where during this time I had no private equity firm. During this time, I had no website where I'm producing essays on a blog. During this time, I had no type of nothing correlating to being able to provide others with reparations, receiving reparations on behalf of my family, or any sort of reason to contact the president, any sort of reason to contact Elon Musk directly. I had none of that. And all of that started when I started changing how I am appearing to other people and to myself, of course. So it's like, let's do biz, get ready with me, business casual, makeup, hair, perfume, cute and stylish. Okay. And then brand and leverage, liquidity and profits, debt and collateral, business expansion. So this is the actual look. Okay, refreshing and cleansing, self-confidence boosting, and self-support through spirit. Love yourself. That's always first step, but it's like going back and then recognizing those actual principles before just going into I'm going to look pretty and I'm going to get what I want. You got to love yourself before you start doing that type of stuff, okay? Now, this was a really big one. This isn't so much um glamour magic, it's just manifestation work. So you have semen retention and you have utilizing, no nut for the guys, and it increases your magnetism. For ladies, it's the same principle. You have the power of celibacy and fasting from a sexual pleasure. So vagina power, celibacy, and abstinence from manifestation and transformation. Hashtag NoFap, hashtag sex transmutation. And that is written about in the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill as well. So it's literally a science to when you sacrifice sex, which as an adult is very, very pleasurable more than most other things, you become a magnet for your desires because it's tied to your sacral chakra. You become more creative, you become more in tune. And like I said, we can utilize this word magnetism down to the ground, to the grave, because it's true. Here we are 2 years ago. I'm making this video. I'm in a different space from there. Just as keep that kind of under wraps. If you get it, what I'm saying? If you know, you know. Um, And then on top of that, having the information that I now have. So being recognized by the president, getting a letter back from the White House type situation, my family in reparations conversations, my father getting flown out to Oakland, California to speak on behalf of our family to receive reparations, and the law school working on our behalf, the podcast going in on our family and recognizing us on a national level with WKNO. None of this was happening 2 years ago when I made these series of videos. When I made the vagina power and celibacy abstinence from manifestation and transmutation, you couldn't have told me I could manifest all this. You know what I'm saying? It's a real situation. Okay, everybody on Instagram, remember to come over to YouTube so I can reply to your comments if you want to leave any comments and make any sort of remarks. Share your manifestation thoughts, share your experiences with whether it's fasting, because I fasted social media all 2025, and then I came back and I shared this information with y'all. Like it is a science, it's a metaphysical science, but it's just like when you take your spirituality to the 3D and you make it real, that is the perpendicular reality. You're not just sitting in this weird space of, oh, I'm going to meditate and I'm going to manifest. It's like, no, you make it real that way. So, even going back 2 years ago, virtual business meeting, sole purpose and mission. So, this was the 8th virtual business meeting that we had. Okay. I think this was a tarot. No, was it a tarot reading? I think I did yeah, it was a tarot reading that I did for activists. So if you are a Black activist, make sure you check out this reading because this is highly important for everybody. I might share this. Yeah, I might put that in a different spot because it's like, there's a lot of important information in there. Okay. All right, we have natural hair, ether styling, and care, transforming our service culture for health as a priority, evolving spiritually in business and entrepreneurship. Now, this was a kind of, this is part of manifesting a new reality. You have to heal. In order to get past the healing stage, you have to see what bothered you the most and then hop that timeline. You have to completely heal that wound. What did we talk about in the previous stream of your perpendicular reality? You can put all the band-aids and ointments and topical treatments on your wound as possible. Until you clear out that poison and you detox your body from the inside, you will still be suffering from that wound. So here we talked about spirit babies and abortion, sexual assault, versus divine conception using tantric magic, because sexual magic is very, very important. But if it is used improperly and to harm others, it is very, very dangerous, and it continues generational curses. That is, you know, things like single parents, things like bad seeds, where it's like a kid's just bad for no reason. You don't understand why this child behaves this way. It's because of what happened in the spirit realm before the child was born. Why does this woman keep having kids by a bunch of dudes, and why can't she just stay in a stable relationship and keep her legs closed? Like, why does this keep happening? Why does this man keep having a bunch of baby moms? That is where you go to heal that issue. Telling somebody to stop sleeping with all these people unprotected, it doesn't work. You have to go at it from a spiritual perspective so that the full point can be grasped. Okay, here we have high vibe and income skill, financial matrix mastery. So you go to the stream that we just did, ESG to DEI stratagem. Okay, go there. And if you're watching this past the 24-hour mark, you will have to get a membership to get access to it. It is highly important because all that is described here. Because, you know, we have things like anything that assists those of ethnic or gender differences, they're no longer getting assistance. So in order to adapt and pivot properly, you have to develop a high vibe, high income skill. Okay, financial matrix mastery. Goal setting and achievement as a feminine, long-term versus short-term gratification and sacrifice. So like I said, this was 2 years ago. Okay, and I'm only talking about this so I can use myself as an example for you all. I'm not just telling y'all something and I'm not being real about it, and it's just this hypothetical and mystical conversation. No, this is real life, real results, and that's all I want to provide is authenticity for you all to be able to learn from. All right. Okay. Think and grow rich in spirit. You have to do it there first before you do it physically. Go woke, go broke. Spirituality is a scam for financial growth, and that is true. So that is why you have to transform what is happening spiritually into something tangible. Okay, you have to be tangible with your spirituality. That is why I introduced DEI, ESG. You have to make it real for people instead of just sitting on a platform, whether you're an observer or a creator. Okay. And then two, this book that I use as a reference that has the president on it. He is a co-author. Okay. So I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Whatever it is I desire to manifest, I get that. I don't care how long it takes. That took 2 years to manifest. So, and I'm going to keep going until I get the full manifestation. That's the thing. You can't give up either. It's not some of this stuff. You have to be real about it. You cannot sit up here and say you want certain things. Let me yell at y'all for a second. Hold on. Let me put my screen down. Let me put mine down. You cannot sit up here and realistically say, oh, I want this thing, I want that thing, I want this particular lifestyle, I want this other type of situation. No, you cannot sit up here and realistically say you want these things if you're not willing to wait and put in the patience. Is it being unrealistic and you're just no, if you can think about it, if you can visualize yourself being in a certain position, you can do it, but you have to be real. I know certain things I'm not going to get to until 20 years has passed. I know it's a 2-decade process. I know that. I know certain things are a full decade process. I know certain things are a 5-year, 2-year goal to achieve. I know that for a fact. I know it. That's based on how the matrix is set up. And it's based on the opportunities in front of me now that I will be accumulating more in the future. But it's a process. I'm not unrealistic, and I'm not going to get impatient and upset that things don't happen the minute that I say, oh, universe, oh, God, oh, Abba, oh, I want this the most high. Can you please bless me with this thing? I'm not going to get upset if I don't get it the next day, if I don't get it within 5 hours. You can't do that. You have to be realistic with your manifestations. It's not to say that you can't manifest what you want. It's to say if you're going to manifest this big thing, you have to be real about the timeline. You have to be real about your timelines. That's why we're talking about a perpendicular reality. Sometimes you got to take those parallel steps. It's literally parallel. You have to take those parallel steps first before you get to the perpendicular. Before you get there, you have to take those steps. You have to understand it takes patience, it takes work, it takes physical, tangible ways of realizing certain things before you get to the full reality that it is that you want. That's not just me talking, that is real. It's not about the get rich quick. It is not about the, oh, I'm just going to sit here and everything I want is going to pop up in front of me. You can get into that flow. That stuff eventually starts happening where stuff starts happening without any of your effort. Those things do happen. I'm not going to lie and say that that never happens and it never will happen. That stuff does start happening. You have to be in that flow state first, though. If you're familiar with Abraham Hicks being in the vortex, you have to be in that state of flow. That's why I named my company that way, Marine Liquidity Fiduciary Flow. We are spiritual, but we're still realistic, and we are masters of this matrix system. When you master the matrix and you master certain aspects of it, and then you get into bringing spirituality into your matrix, and then that's it. It's over with. It's one. It's done. Okay. So let me get back to this screen. I'm done being loud with y'all for just for a second though, because y'all already know I've been for a year, and some of y'all still doing the same thing. We can't have that. Okay. I don't like when people who follow or say they support me still do the same thing over and over again. I don't like that. I'm gonna talk to y'all about something that somebody sent me in a DM the other day too, and I'm just like, this is why I left. So we have confidence through consciousness, glamour magic, self-love, self-improvement with spirituality. We have groundedness in spirituality, manifestation and materialization through business and entrepreneurship. Creativity, consciousness, living in authenticity and wholeness through creation and power. We have another virtual business meeting of financial literacy through the 10th and 13th dimensions. So if you get a membership, they only 99 cents a month. Okay. So if you get that, you'll have access to that. Yeah, transformation, transmutation, manifesting new life circumstances with energy, transmutation, and glamour. Goal achievement, how to celebrate wins as an enlightened being, gratification, and endorphins. So this is what I'm saying. This has been a very, very long-term situation. This is 2 years back. All right. This is not something that's new. This is something that when you put in the work and keep up consistency, you are able to see results in whatever timeline is meant for you to see. It could have happened sooner. It could have happened later. Gratitude is there regardless. Gratitude is necessary in whatever context and whatever timeline. Confidence through nervousness, pushing through when anxiety tries to set in. Hashtag pep talk. Majestic meets matrix, leading life with spirituality and 3D interactions. Hashtag business and entrepreneur. So that's what I'm saying. You have to apply your spirituality to your business. Okay. Otherwise, it's just money. And that's not a good thing. It's really not a good thing. Triumph, success, and celebration. Sharing your divine evolution with the collective by being you. So that is what I do with you guys. That's exactly what I'm doing here with y'all right now. I'm not here to just make content and just be like, oh yeah, peace and love. No, these are the real results that we got. So then going into that next year, we got into the new phase of the reality that I started manifesting, Quadrillionaire Blockchain Derivatives Goddess. We had the virtual business meeting, and then our $1 plan, quadrillionaire occupational governance. This is me using my new signature look. This is me letting y'all know what it is business wise. This is me being serious about, okay, we're taking our spirituality and then we're going to manifest physically with that. So then after that point, we had a lot of virtual business meetings, and then here are the first parts of perpendicular reality. We started talking about that about a year ago. Okay. So I was using this look and the virtual business meetings. So that enhances anyone who watches the virtual business meetings with that look. The tantra is very, very important. So, ladies, when you see like a pretty lady, you see a pretty girl, it's like, oh, that what you get, that helps to amplify the happiness and the reciprocation. It's like, oh, she look good. So it's like, oh well, men react this way, men react that way. I know how the fuck I react when I see a pretty lady, nigga. Like, okay, like it makes me happy to see her being that happy. So it all works out for everyone. I break that down in this stream, Tantra, the truth. I break all that down. And I'm very, very specific about it. Okay. So we had a lot of virtual business meetings in 2024. Yeah, using that look educational school system. I think that was around the time I first contacted the school system. This was me being upset about Marcellus Williams. There was a situation that happened here, and then this happened as well. And it's just like, okay, I'm not a performative activist. I'm going to speak on these things and I'm going to do these things afterward, okay? Or, whatever the timeline is. And then, like I said, that man, yeah, I was serious. It's been a long time coming. And I'm that much closer. That interaction and that reaction is already there in my current reality, and we're gonna keep going because it's like this is the game that you have to play. Am I pandering to anybody? Am I gonna pretend and wear make whoever great again hat? Am I gonna pretend and am I gonna do those things? I might troll a little bit, but I'm not gonna pander. I'm sitting here being straight up and I'm sending open letters to let it be known, okay, we're publicly addressing what is happening here. Okay. And even too, I spoke on the running mate as well when Kamala Harris was running. Okay. So it's like I speak on these things and I do the physical actions at the same time. We're not going to sit up here and just, do stuff that goes viral. I don't even, y'all see how many views I got up here. I don't be going crazy viral. I don't. And that's not a bad thing either. Some things are not meant for everybody to see. So we have sacral healing and shadow work. Okay, Scorpio season, transformation and transmutation, #healing. Like I said, you got to heal that stuff before you manifest your new reality. There's a lot of things I would not have been ready for until I did that shadow work. And I just happened to be a public figure who shares life experience. I'm not a direct expert on any of that. I just share my own experience to help others. Okay. So then here we were closing out 2024 where I started sharing certain types of information. And that is that's crazy. That is, getting into those other steps of being a person here in the Matrix. Okay. So yeah. All right. So that's why this is the mastered version of what it is to have your perpendicular reality. We're going to be talking about that concept more because I think that understanding um, completely shifting and changing, it's not necessarily a shift. It's more of a pivot. That's why I'm using those words in particular. You're pivoting from what it is you're used to what is necessary. So it's like you have to break certain habits, you have to develop new habits, you have to accept a new reality, you have to accept different things into your reality, you have to accept new patterns and new rhythms, new algorithms. I'll suggest this too. Either make a new account, or if you have like an account that you don't use on whatever social media, it doesn't have to specifically be here on YouTube, it doesn't have to specifically be on Instagram, whatever account you have, either make a new one, or if you have another one that you don't use all that often, whatever, curate that algorithm, follow certain hashtags, look up certain hashtags, look up certain topics that align with the reality that it is that you want. And I don't care if you're talking about you want super yachts and submarines, okay? If y'all watch the quadrillionaire videos, y'all already know what type of time we're on over here, right? You look those things up, you follow those things, you learn the information, because that's going to lead you to the logical steps that you can take. A lot of things are too out of reach. So if you look up how to get a trade in this area, if you get a college degree, which one do you need to get into these particular arenas? What conversations do you need to have with who? You start that by curating your social media algorithm. Do not use social media as a way of escape 100% of the time. We know it's okay to do that at times. Let social media be the tool that you use to get to your next levels, to get to your new reality. Let it be that. Do not let it be the thing that hinders you from your reality. That's what a lot of people end up doing. They think that their reality is based on watching other people, and that's not what your reality is. Your reality is putting forth the effort to expose yourself visually and audibly to things that you would not have had before. Or maybe you have dreams, you have visions, and you're like, okay, well, I saw this. Let me look up, let me try to find out what it is. If you use ChatGPT, type in what happened in your dream and be like, okay, well, what words can I use to trigger my algorithm to look up these types of videos or these types of posts? How am I supposed to get to whatever it is I saw in my dream that somebody can make content for me to see? ChatGPT will give you a whole list of vocabulary words for you to study, know about, learn about, and be able to find pictures on. You can start Googling different images with different words and whatnot. There are so many ways to utilize technology to manifest your physical reality, because all you have to do is expose yourself to it. And then you keep diving in, you keep going. You go down the rabbit hole of whatever it is you want your new reality to be, because you're meant to have that. If you can see it and you can understand it, and you can see yourself being like, that's comfortable for me. I think that makes sense for what it is that I desire to do, or what it is that, I would like to make this impact. I would like to make this difference. And this just makes sense. It's for you then. It's for you then. I saw myself speaking with the president. That's already happened. I saw myself making an impact in different communities, and it is happening. I saw myself speaking to I didn't even see myself speaking to the heads of colleges. I saw myself speaking to professors at colleges. Now that has happened. Heads of organizations are directly working with my family in those different ways. Multiple professors have had conversations with me. Don't work with me. Okay? This is not something I'm going to sit up here and just pretend and hypothetically put together a what if scenario. This is real life. All right. So if you want to learn more practical things, like I said, you can get the monthly membership. At the same time, you can pre-order my book, my newest book. That one was specifically real estate based. So my newest book is for you to be able to study these concepts that I'm talking about in a realistic fashion, where you're talking about, okay, well, what is ESG? How can I make it make sense for me and my family, my business, and whatnot. You can pre-order this book, Quadrillionaire Blockchain Derivatives Goddess. Like I said, this started 2 years ago. Okay. You can pre-order it for $33.33. And let me get this up for you guys too. Okay. Now, once it officially drops and is no longer available for pre-order, it will be $66.66. Okay. So go ahead and get it for $33.33 so you can get that half off discount when you pre-order. Okay. This is how you manifest your new reality in this current day and time. Okay. And it's not, like I said, it's not always a financial thing. Have my finances changed in the past year? Yeah. Not in a traditional sense though. It's not always about what cash you get in your hand and what deposits you get in your account. It's about what is valuable that you receive and the resources and how you're able to utilize them. So I mean, the answer is yes, but it's not in a way people can appreciate if the mindset is not there properly. So, it's taking those things into consideration. I don't want to put all my business out there and say exactly what I got and exactly how I got it. at the same time, it's like, did my net worth increase? Absolutely. I'll say this. You go back in my really, really, really old videos, all the way back in 2021, where I show y'all my gold and my silver. Okay, look at the silver and gold markets now. I didn't came up like 100% like type situation. I paid like 20 some dollars, 30 some dollars for silver and gold. Well, not gold, but like silver. And now the markets are all the way up. Silver is almost at $60. Silver is up almost $60. So where I paid $20, I'm almost 3 times over my initial investment. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean is you have to take these steps early in order to see these results later. That's what is that? 4 years ago? That's 4 years ago, and seeing certain returns on my precious metal investments. That's not something that you're just gonna wake up. You got crypto nowadays. You can't have all of a sudden one day volatility, everything's gone up. But you also have that same scenario where here we are, crypto, Bitcoin specifically was at 120,000 a couple of months ago. Now it's down to 86. Okay, not that that's a bad thing, but it's like those who invested 10 years ago are seeing a much better return than those who invested 2 months ago. You get what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. I'm letting it be known, like, okay, you have to be in the buy and hold mindset. You have to be okay with being there for the long term. You have to be okay with sitting and waiting and being patient. Patience will get you more manifestation results than any sort of physical work you do. If you keep doing your physical work, of course, but you also have that patience, you are unstoppable. Very literally, you are unstoppable because you're there to be the tortoise. You're not there to be the hare. The hare likes to stop it going, stop it going, stop it go. Those people who always have something new going on and they're not continuing with their previous projects. Is one thing to finish a project, it's one thing to evolve from a project, it's one thing to change businesses. But if there's always something new going on and then that person is not being consistent and finalizing what it is that they're doing in any sort of way, no, that's a huge red flag. That is not okay. You should not do that. But here we have a physical manifestation of, I took my spirituality and made it professional. So you guys can benefit from it, and those who are in academia and professional spaces can also benefit from it, okay? So the link to that is in the description box. So you guys can get a copy of that. I'm going to share a little bit here with y'all. Hold on. So here we have what I also sent to HBCUs. We have this here. I sent this to HBCUs way back in 2024. I can't say way back, summer 2024. I sent this to political heads in earlier this year, this summer. And I sent this to Elon Musk and all of his businesses this summer as well, in July. So around the time that I got a response from the president is when I contacted Elon Musk as well. Elon Musk held a governmental office earlier this year in the organization called Doge. And he is part of the reason why a lot of these things are happening. So for his own personal interest in his businesses, and then also removing funding from those of ethnic and gender backgrounds, he was a part of those things directly. So I sent it to him and his businesses and organizations as well. So I am not afraid to contact these folks and let them know what's up. All right. I don't want anybody to be afraid to contact these people and be like, all right, we can negotiate something, because you can't just do what you're doing in the way that you're doing it. Okay. You really can't, because then that would be repeating history. Does anybody have any comments, any questions that you would like to ask, or any sort of insight, anything that I may have missed that you would like to share? Because this is an open space for everybody. It's not just me talking. Like y'all teach me a lot of things as well, things I didn't know about. In the last stream, somebody was mentioning how something happened with Louis Farrakhan and something that happened overseas. A lot of these things are prone to happen as stumbling blocks. However, that's not to deter future movement, you know? You have to keep going, because if you don't keep going and stop, what else gonna happen? You just have to maneuver and figure out. That's why it's DEI to ESG. So, like I said, make sure y'all watch that stream before it goes private. Otherwise, get a membership so you can have 24/7 access to it. Yeah, if that's it, if y'all don't have any comments, anything you want to say, I'm going to go ahead and go. Much gratitude for the 2 viewers and 2 likes on here. I know this was a lot, and the last stream was a lot. Is not your frilly and fun spiritual content that everybody's used to. Absolutely not. We are getting work done here. That is exactly what is happening over here. Okay? Okay. All right, then. Shalom, Rainicorns. I will see you in the next one. Tawera. That means thank you in Hebrew.